What is up, mates? My name is Ragoline. Welcome to another episode of my podcast. It's July's podcast about, well, my son Felix and, well, all of my family, apparently. First of all, my wife cut my beard a little, which I'm very much thankful for, uh, which is really good because now it looks pretty decent. At least it used to look much worse. Anyway, to be a parent, this podcast, the topic of this podcast is to be a parent. Well, essentially, I am a father for 3 months today. 29th of June is the day when Felix is 3 months old. Yeah, I mean, it will be, um, today is 29th of June. The podcast will be published in July, but I don't know, you get the idea, right? Subtopics are to give birth. So we will talk a little, well, I will talk a little bit about giving birth in the first place. Da la luz. Spanish. Smart. Anyways, the second podcast will be the fourth trimester because the first 3 months of a child is, well, essentially the fourth trimester. So at some point today is the last day. No, I mean today, my wife's not, my wife's, whose name's not, pregnancy is over. Yeah. Woohoo! Clap it up. The third trimester. No, 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 no. That's 3 months over. Okay, the third subtopic is difficulties. So, well, essentially, the fourth trimester, yeah, we'll be talking about the difficulties there, what's new and stuff, you know. Anyways, and the last fourth trimester, no, no. The last fourth subtopic is what's next. So I will speculate perhaps a little bit. We'll see. Let's begin with the to give birth. Well, first of all, I'm really proud to be a father of Felix, to be a husband of Nat, to be here living with them, essentially. Okay. Give me just a couple seconds. Okay, let's go. So, giving birth was difficult, was long, because it took, like, not saying 14 hours to give birth. I think it was something like that, yeah. I was there in the birth house, how's this called? Hospital. In 3 o'clock? No, I was there in 3:30, closer to 4 o'clock. And since then, I was there and not gave birth to Felix at 11:56, even though documents say that it was 12 o'clock. No, we had a photo of Felix and the date was 11:57. So I took it when it was No, no, I took it when it was 11:57, but like who knows, right? That who would know that Felix was born a minute before I took his first photo? Okay, I said it. It's the most important thing in this podcast. No. So, giving birth was difficult. It was the time when I saw my wife screaming. It was the very first and hopefully last time I saw her screaming. Like, really. It was so goddamn painful for her that I even wanted to cry at that point, which was, I don't know, fine, which is fine overall. But it's not about me. Again, I was there. I am really proud of that. I'm always saying, like, yeah, yeah, my wife gave birth. I was there, by the way. It's like just walking in the street, I know, hearing a man saying that he is a good husband, something, and coming to him, tapping on his shoulder, saying like, "I was there with my wife when she gave birth," which is like, I don't know, it's nothing really. I mean, nothing so special. Nowadays, I think many husbands are with their wives when they give birth. I think so. I hope. I really loved it. I mean, if we are having another child, like the second one, I want to be there. I'm not saying that I will be there because I don't know, maybe I will be a famous actor. That time. I don't know. Why not? Who knows, right? Uh, or I will be a, want to say president, but I can't. Anyway, so giving birth was difficult, was long, but back in the day, I thought it's gonna be much more difficult. Yet I thought it was going to be much shorter, like 2 hours or something. But 2 hours is something really special when a woman starting feeling com- compressions, how they called, I don't remember. And after 2 hours, a child is born. No, I mean, it happens, but it's not natural, you know. Mm, anyway, anyway, it was great. And after Felix was born, it was like something, it was like I realized that my life is gonna change for all, and it will never be the same. And now I'm thinking, and I was goddamn happy about that also. And now I'm thinking that my life changed, but I'm feeling like it was supposed to be like that. I'm I'm still very happy. That's the most important thing. And that's very great about the child, about being a mother, about all her life. Uh, I hope. Okay, let's move on. Fourth trimester. So, On the second day after they got home, I was alone with Felix for the first time in my life. I didn't know anything, like theoretically, yes, but not practically. It was something really new for me, and I had to do everything so right that if I do something wrong, I'm gonna be really punished. Imagine me saying the adjective before the word punished, the F word. God damn it. Um, so let's begin with that. So on the second day, I was alone with him for like 2 hours. Well, it was because Nat had to take a ride to the hospital for some reason, whatever. It was so difficult for me. I didn't know what to do. I mean, again, theoretically, I knew what to do and how to how to deal with a child, but it was like a tiny little boy who wasn't even a week old, and I had to, well, deal with him. Um, I had only a little, well, bottle, like 30 maybe milliliters of milk, of nuts, breast milk, and that's it. And so I fed him, and that's it. And he's crying, he's screaming, and I'm taking his on my hands and trying to calm him down. But it was so difficult, it was so stressful. And then Nat returned home, and she was stressed out just because, well, she uh, wait a second. She didn't know what was happening with her child who was just born, let's say. And, well, I was so, I was scared, really scared, and we both cried a little for, well, at the same time, different reasons, and the same reason. Well, Felix being alone with his father, who doesn't have breasts, you know. It's me, by the way. And after that, it was getting easier after almost each day. I had back then a vacation, well, vacation, you know. I took a vacation, official vacation for 1 week, so I could help Nat for a little. I did, it was fine. And since then, we were, what's the word? We were learning how to deal with Felix, how to feed him, how he sleeps. We were learning how to, well, take him, grab him, how to wash him, how to walk with him in the streets. He's not sleeping in his crib. He's sleeping with us in the bed, which I don't know. I don't think it's right. Well, it's not right, but he's so tiny, he's so little. And we're thinking that maybe at some point he will just leave us with that alone. But we'll see. Yeah, that's basically about the first month, I guess. Then it was difficult, it was fun. Sometimes it was like way too difficult. Sometimes it was way too fun. No, no, no. It wasn't way too fun. It was always pretty hard. It took us time to learn how to do the things, including our own things. Like I began um, doing live streams only in May. Felix was born on 29th of March. So today is 29th of June and he's 3 months old. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, so we were learning how to deal with all of that. I guess that's enough about this topic, except the thing. Well, yeah, let's move on. Difficulties. So I'm saying that it was difficult to be with a child. There are people who think that the fourth trimester is the easiest part of raising a child, of having a child, of being parent. And there are people who think that it's the most difficult part. I think, well, so far I haven't been a parent of a child who's more than 3 months old. So I think that it's the most difficult part. For what reason? Because the child is so, unable to do anything, and you are giving him all like your love, yourself, yeah. So me and Nat are giving everything to Felix. Well, at some point, I guess. And we love it. We love our son very, very much. But yeah, I guess that the most hard part of his life for us is over. Perhaps I'm so goddamn wrong. Perhaps like almost 95% that I'm wrong, and I mean at some point there will be teenage years. Oh Lord, please don't. But yeah, obviously it it will happen at some point. Yeah. And about difficulties, it was difficult to learn how to feed him, for Nat at least. It was difficult for us to learn how he sleeps, for him to have this routine. I guess routine is more like for us, but still for us as parents. For difficulties, speaking of difficulties, Nat is giving all of herself to Felix, like 24 hours a day, every day. She has about couple hours in the evening before Felix falls asleep. I mean, after Felix fell asleep, and she before she falls asleep, right next to him, between me and him, or maybe Felix is between us. It doesn't matter. And sometimes he wakes up, so she has to go to him and feed him, and he falls asleep and stuff. So it's like 2 hours, from 2 minutes to 2 hours. That's the time she has in the evening. I'm asleep at that time, so I can't do anything, basically. And she also has 2 hours when I'm walking with Felix. I'm walking with him in the park, and we are spending time together. I can't say that I'm learning something about him. The one thing that I learned, that if I'm speaking on the phone while I'm walking with him, he wakes up at some point. It Yeah, you can't prevent him from waking up if you're on the phone, which is sad, because I used to call my mother and we were talking and stuff, and then he wakes up and I'm like, oh crap, he woke up, and I hang up on her. And at the same time, the last time, yesterday, I walked with him, he was asleep all 2 hours, just because I couldn't call my mother for some reasons, whatever. And Felix was asleep. I think that if you're talking on the phone, he doesn't like it. I guess so. Anyway, guess that's enough with the difficulties. Living with a child is, I can't say that it was so new that we didn't know where we are going. I mean, first of all, we wanted the child and we tried, and thank God he really mm, appeared in our life. I mean, I am thanking the Lord. I'm thanking the skies. I'm thanking everything. He is the best. And yeah, more than that, it's not that just that we've got a child now. It's that we've got Felix as our child. He's just the best. For real. I mean, he likes screaming and stuff. He screams pretty much a lot, but that's fine. I mean, again, he's a child. He's 3 months old. So silly of me. The last subtopic, what's next? I was thinking about that, but every time I'm thinking about what's next, how's Felix gonna grow up and stuff, I'm finishing with him being 20, 30, 40 years old, and me and not being old and dying. I didn't like thinking about that, even though I know that it's gonna happen. But I think we are better to think about, for example, in 3 months approximately, his teeth are gonna start growing, which will be difficult for us, I guess, because he's gonna scream even more. And then, let's say, after a couple months after that, he's gonna start crawling all around the flat we're living in. We are not moving so far, but on his first birthday, we are gonna begin our move, changing the place we're living to the house I bought. So, um, I was talking about, yeah, what's next? And then after 3 more months, he will be walking, perhaps. He will be talking, perhaps. Well, approximately, yeah, like plus minus 1 month. And then he will be growing, let's say when he's 2 years old, he will be, well, already a grown up. No, for real. Then he will be, let's say, 2 years old. He will be really large, but what's with that? I mean, nothing new will be for him. He will be living in a house, which is great. We'll have our house there, our yard, not yard, our uh, mm, well, there's no backyard. It's more like a townhouse than a house. Well, anyway, it will be all so great. And then he will be 3 years old and he'll be going to the kindergarten. Three, four, five. I think that when he's 4 and 5 years old, he won't be really different from himself being 3 years old. Just as with 2 years old, he will be the same as 1 years old, 1 year old. Yes. And then 6 years old, he will go to school, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, a teenager. There will be problems. 15, 16, 17, he's finishing the school. 18, he's studying in a university, perhaps in Kaliningrad, but maybe he will move to Moscow or some other city. And 19, 20, I will be 47. Oh my lord, I will be 47 when he's 20. I don't like thinking about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm always finishing with that. I really love him. I really love my wife. My wife's my life. What is life? And yeah, so Felix is just the brightest light in my life, except Nat. I mean, she's the best. She is everything in my life, for real. I I'm always thinking about that she is like the best. Let's say that. And At the end of the day, yeah, we will be thinking about having another child at some point. I don't know when. Do you hear that? It's Felix. Okay, yeah, I guess let's finish this one. Thank you very much for watching this video, or maybe just listening to this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If you haven't yet. And leave a comment down below. I would really, really appreciate that. Have a nice life, mate.